Now we're going to do a review. And we're going to have some conversations, and since we're near the end of the class, I thought it would be fun if we had conversations where everything we say has to follow all those rules.
Oh, no.
We can talk about anything you want, but we have to follow all of these rules. So the first thing we learn, you want to be positively assertive versus aggressive or passive. All you have to do is be honest, direct, and respectful. Remember, that's the main rule. Every other rule is just teaching you how to be honest, direct, and respectful in a comfortable, positive way. Imagine, if you're having trouble standing up for yourself or being assertive with somebody, imagine yourself being more assertive and then act the way you imagined yourself acting. If you can't do that, think of somebody that you know that you think is an assertive person who is able to stand up for themselves, and imagine how they would act in that situation and pretend like you're them and act the way they would act. That's what the imagine part was about when we read that. Believe. Remember, we talked a lot about, especially people with mental health problems or low self-esteem, they don't believe that they're allowed to be assertive. They feel guilty for being assertive or standing up for themselves. So when we read about believing, we were talking about believing in yourself, believing that you're allowed to be assertive, believing that you can be assertive. Then emotional awareness. Be aware of what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Why are you furious that somebody cut you off in traffic? And why do you feel the need to assertively honk at them or flip them off? That's not very assertive, is it? Being aware of how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way will help you decide whether or not you even want to, as Maria eloquently put it, choose your battles, pick your battles.
Yeah, I don't know, eloquently, but yeah, right.
Win-win. Always try to think of ways that that it can be a win-win scenario. I versus you, one of my favorite ones, because that's one of the ones that most people struggle with, because when you're emotional, when you're upset, when you want to stand up for yourself, when you're feeling afraid even, when you're getting your feelings hurt by somebody and you want to tell them, hey, stop calling me stupid, stop calling me crazy. You're going to be emotional and you're going to want to attack them and go on the defensive and use a lot of you statements. You always call me stupid. I'm getting tired of it. That's a you statement. So we want to stick to I statements. This is another one of my favorites because this is another one that most people don't do. Stick to the facts and don't exaggerate. We're not going to get into a political debate here, but I'm going to use President Trump as an example. You listen to his speeches. He uses a lot of words like terrific, outstanding, fantastic. That's just part of the way he speaks. Those aren't very assertive words.
Cleaning the windows. I'm like,
Those aren't very assertive words.
Oh, yeah,
He's exaggerating. He's not sticking to the facts. If you think something is terrific, say what you think is terrific about it. That make sense? Stick to the facts. Don't say you never do this, or I feel like you always do this. Always, never, or those are bad words. They're exaggerated words. Body language, facial expressions, tone of voice. That was a fun and awkward week where I had to demonstrate all the body language signals, and not to point, and watch your facial expressions. And then last week we talked about style. If I'm being assertive with my children who are asking me for money, I'm going to use how many people remember the different styles that we talked about? Supportive and caring. I'm going to let the other person know that I understand how they feel. Talking to my children. Grace, I know that you really want to buy that whatever, but I don't have the money right now, so no, I'm not giving you the money for that. I used supportive and caring because I told her how I understood how she felt. I used analytical, I gave her reasons, and then I used direct and guiding. I said no, which is a complete sentence. Which one didn't I use? Emotional.
expressive.
I'm getting tired of you asking me for money every other day or every week. Get a job. That's assertive. It's mean, but it's assertive. It's also expressive. I'm expressing my emotion, how I feel about it. So supportive and caring, you're making sure the other person knows that you understand how they feel, or you think you understand how they feel. Directing and guiding, you're telling them what to do, telling them what not to do, telling them to give you what's yours, telling them, how you feel. Analytical, maybe you want to give reasons. Your boss, you want to maybe be analytical with. Your doctor, maybe you want to be analytical with. doctor, I don't want to take this medication anymore. Sorry, we have some distracting window things going on. Doctor, I decided to stop taking this medication, and here's why. I would use an analytical approach with your doctor, because if you give them reasons, and you might even want to use a little supportive and caring. I understand that you're worried about my depression, but this medication is actually making me feel worse than I felt before. So you're using supportive and caring, you're telling them you understand where they're coming from, but you're using analytical too, which for somebody like a doctor or a boss is going to get you far. So we talked last week about the different styles and how in an ideal situation you're going to use a combination of all 4 of those styles. But sometimes you just want to choose direct and guiding. No, stop doing that. Stop, calling me that. Give me my phone back. Or sometimes you just want to be direct and guiding. Sometimes you just want to be supportive. I understand why you want that, but no. Personally, I think that direct and guiding should always be added to whatever other stuff you're using. But all right, I think that's pretty much it for a review.
Did we get to the body language?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was
We
trying
did
to
body language
help
the first
somebody.
week you were gone, and then last week we
Yeah.
covered the 4 different styles.
I just want to say something. This is sort of funny. My sister and I were baking cookies, and I know the nurse in charge had brought this up the last time we taught this class about using this body language.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how my sister knew this, and I never knew it growing up, but I was getting too close in her space while we were baking, and she's like, get out of my space. And I was like, wow. I said, that's what we were teaching in assertiveness class. It's sort of interesting how you had that body language, and I never grew up with it. So anyhow, I just thought that was pretty good.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that based on what we learned. What do you
Yeah.
think about that body language? Is it aggressive, assertive, or passive? It's a tricky one, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's assertive.
Somebody's getting too close to you.
Also says
Sorry?
assertive, aggressive, kind of.
It's a trick question.
That's aggressive in a way.
It's a trick question.
It
Because
is
it
tricky.
depends on your tone of voice,
Yeah.
the words you're using. Because if facial expression especially, if I just do this,
Yeah, yeah,
that's kind of
Yes.
aggressive.
yeah,
If I say, I don't like people getting that close,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
that's assertive. Does that make sense?
I
Yeah.
guess
So
that
it's a
with
combination.
her having stage 4 pancreatic cancer, I felt like she was being feisty, and I was glad, because I've watched her lay on the couch ill for 10, 11 months, and so I was like, wow, she's getting some feist back. So that was a good thing. But I agree with you. I think it depends on how you portray it, because it reminded me of way back in the day when we said, talk to the hand. You know what I mean?
Which I think is
yeah.
aggressive and rude. But
You know, and she didn't say that.
I think, like I said, it depends. And I think at the end of the day, it goes down to, and I've said this multiple times, if you go back to rule number 1, if you feel like you're being direct, honest, and respectful, you're being assertive.
Yeah,
If I say, get away from me, I know I'm not being respectful.
yeah.
I'm being direct and honest, but I'm not being respectful.
Yeah.
So I know that's aggressive. Does that make sense? Because I'm violating rule number 1. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. When this man was in a car, and he wants me, and he would stand up in the car, stand up. He got out the car and stand up, and I would let him talk, just talking, but not. It's a body language. It's like he wants me to get closer to him. And I was like, no, thank you. He felt he was kind of persistent at first. I said, no, we can talk. He wants me to come closer. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's like he wants.
And that's
Yeah, I
what
felt
they suggest to sort of
uncomfortable.
back up
I
kind of
love,
thing.
I
Yeah.
love that situation and that you shared it with us, because we can use that to
Yeah.
talk about today's lesson.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
No, that's
perfect.
good, you
It's
shared.
good.
Yeah.
So, 4 steps to assertive communication. And these steps are going to follow through with us into assertive confrontation.
So
Fourth-
what page are we on?
Page 63, 4 steps to assertive communication. So, you're being direct, honest, and respectful. You're using your imagination, you believe, you have emotional awareness, you're using I statements, you're sticking to the facts, you're not exaggerating, you're using the right body language, facial expressions, tone of voice. You've decided what style of communication you need to use in that situation. Now what? Well, if you want to get anywhere, you have to know how to deal with other people, because you can only control whether or not you're assertive. You can't control whether or not the other person's being aggressive or passive or assertive. So how can you do that? Let's read on page 63. Who would like to read the first couple paragraphs for us? Anyone? Thank you.
Even if you successfully choose assertive words, correctly assets and the other person's personality type and the style of assertiveness to which they might best respond, and deliver your words with the appropriate body language, there is no guarantee that the other person will respond with the desired cooperative response. You never have more than 50% of the control in any human interaction, and the other person may ignore your skillful assertiveness. This is when you need to be prepared to increase the power of your assertiveness. You continue to be assertive, but you become a little more insistent, a little more emotional, or a little more commanding to ensure that you get what you want in a situation. Think of it as power steps. You start at the bottom step, which is basic assertive behavior, and if that doesn't work, you take one step up in power. If that does not work, you can take another step and another if needed. And at no point do you have to resort to aggressive behavior.
Before we read any further, I'm going to tell you what the steps are. You repeat yourself, and then you change your request to a command, then you add emotion, and then you introduce consequences. So, why take it step by step? What do you guys think? Why not just, hey, you touch me again, I'm calling the police. If you don't back off, I'm going to pull out my mace. and
I
mace
usually
you.
jump to that too soon.
Why should we not jump to that? Why should we take these steps one at a time? Do you
Because
guys
it
think?
escalates situations sometimes that don't need escalated.
Anyone else?
That sounds like a good answer.
Yes.
It felt you feel a slight touch on your shoulder or any other area, like it's like, you touch me again and I'll
Yeah.
That's a little.
that's quickly. I was
Here's
do it more on me because I am very alert when it comes to
Yeah.
yeah.
here's the answer
Right.
according to the book.
Sorry.
Remember, we're talking about assertive communication. We're not necessarily talking about confrontation yet. The other person may not realize. Let's say that I'm sitting too close to Maria, man.
Yeah, you're fine.
And she doesn't like it when people sit this close to her. And she turns to me and she, with emotion, says, back away from me, which is assertive.
Bud.
Back away from me. That emotion. What emotion would you be feeling? Angry?
Well, let's just say, I'd be fine, but.
I'm pretty
let's just-
upset. I don't like people
Yeah.
sitting this close to me.
Yeah.
Back away.
Yeah.
That's assertive, by the way.
Or you make it look.
Let's just say that I'm
That
taking
look
it the
on
wrong
your
way
face,
or
and people
whatever.
got that expression,
Yeah.
Then
so
you
they
intro-
back away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you introduce consequences.
Yeah.
Back away from me right now. I'm pretty mad. I don't like people sitting that close to me.
Or
If
I'm
you don't
having
back
a-
away from me right now, I'm
Yeah.
going to call Chris
Yeah.
and complain.
Yeah,
Back away from me, I'm having a bad day, okay?
yeah, and you may just be trying to give room for somebody else.
Now, let's start step by step.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
excuse me. Tell me to back away. Assertively,
it's-
follow all these rules. Make sure, by the way, you guys have to keep her in check. Make sure she's
Um,
following all these rules, not exaggerating, using I statements.
David, I would like you to move your chair over a little bit.
I'm sure you
I am
would.
upset by the fact that you're getting a little fit in my space. It's a little uncomfortable. Could you please do that?
What did she do wrong, for those of you who have been
Oh,
here
I-
every
I'm
week?
being-
What if they say no?
I'm being too wussy.
That's okay.
Sorry.
You were a little passive, but I would like you to.
I know, I
You
caught
you
myself.
did not tell me or ask
Oh.
me to move away.
Yeah. I
And
know,
remember,
I was.
we want to start with just the simple,
Yeah.
would you please move away?
Would you please?
I don't like people sitting that
Would you please
close.
move, David? You're too close. Oh, now I use the word you.
Mm.
It's okay. She
David-
asked me to move, by the way.
Okay,
And
David.
I'm just reading my book.
Um,
So now you have to,
you're-
you step
Da-
number one,
David-
repeat yourself.
David, please move your chair. This is inappropriately close.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank
There, problem solved. She didn't need to introduce consequences, she didn't need to get upset, she didn't need
But-
to add emotion.
I had
Yeah,
to think
but-
so hard.
I
Yeah,
know.
but many people might jump into conclusions, when you're at a corporal world, you file for any kind of harassment, sexual, verbal,
Well, some people do and some people don't, yeah.
and they turn around and blame you.
Yeah, that's right. That's why a lot of times I think people don't do it because it gets turned around on you, like, well,
If you
she was
don't-
wearing a short dress, or her cleavage was, she was inviting it,
You have to
or
have
something like that.
You gotta have a voice.
You know
If
what I'm
don't-
saying?
Yeah.
That's how,
Yeah.
that's what it seems like it happens, is that it turns around, like you said, on the woman when, or man, whatever, but,
It's harassment. I
Yeah.
mean, when you file for it, they gonna turn around and blame you.
yeah.
Because it's like, it's making like it's your fault, when it's
Yeah.
not really your
Yeah,
fault.
yeah,
But if you don't speak,
yeah,
it's gonna get worse.
yeah,
Well, that's what we're talking about.
I'm sorry.
How do you do that?
yeah.
So I was sitting too close to you. I didn't respond the first time she asked me or told me to
Right.
move my chair.
Yeah.
Told me that I was sitting too close. So she repeated herself and I moved.
Yeah. What was the
Now-
difference between when I said it the first one and the second time to you?
You were very passive.
Okay, but the second time, what was the word that I used that made you move? What did I say to you?
Nothing, you
Move
just
your
repeated
chair.
yourself, so
Oh,
I.
is that what it, okay. Because
more
I
attention.
obviously did something better.
So she asked me to move my chair away. I didn't listen.
It's
So
hard to
she
change.
asked me again,
It's like she dresses like
and I
that,
moved.
you know.
Now we're gonna do it again, but this time, after she repeats herself asking me to move, I'm not gonna, still not gonna move.
Please move your chair, David.
Okay.
David?
This is uncomfortable.
Hold on, I gotta look at how to do this again.
Just
Okay.
repeat yourself.
Yeah, okay. David, please move your chair. It's too close.
Now let's turn to the next step. I'm sorry,
That's
I'm
why I
not-
know, that's why now I'm gonna command. Don't ask. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna.
Use the directing guiding, don't give me any
Oh.
reasons, don't use analytical.
Oh, okay. David, move your chair. Okay, now get a motion.
Okay.
Oh, did I add a motion?
No,
Oh.
you did. What do you guys think about our tone of voice in that?
I think I got a little
Exchange.
stronger, didn't I?
Still passive,
A little more
a
stern?
little bit more.
You don't think it was aggressive?
I don't think it was aggressive, I think
No.
it was
No.
absurd.
Passive.
Oh, no, I know.
I agree, by the way.
If you hear you'll know if I'm aggressive. You'll know.
Okay,
Nobody has seen me
When
aggressive,
somebody gets closer
this
to me, I wouldn't
building.
say anything.
ever.
I mean, I should say something.
Huh?
Well,
Yeah.
hold on, let's
What is your
practice.
face so close to my
Oh,
heart?
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Start over again, by the way.
What?
Ask me to move.
Please move your face away from mine. Like,
My chair is too close.
yeah, your chair and face. Please move your chair, David. David, move your chair. Can you hear? Can you hear?
Ooh.
Move your chair.
Wait, was that assertive or aggressive?
Aggressive.
Why?
A little rude.
Wasn't very respectful, was it?
I just
It's
become
hard to
aggressive.
do. That's why we're in this class. That's why we're practicing. That's why we're role
It
playing.
is hard.
So you
Well,
told me to
rude
move.
to me is like, I guess, and I've only done it to like boyfriend, I'm throwing the cuss words.
Okay.
That's the rude.
It's profanity.
Yeah, profanity comes with me on rude.
Ask me to move
which
my
I
chair.
don't ever do.
It might involve profanity, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
You ask me to move my chair.
I'm not gonna do it on camera.
You
No,
repeat
no.
yourself, then you tell me to move.
They'll state the
I'm-
consequences.
Now tell me to move in an assertive, respectful, direct, honest way. Just tell me to move.
David, please move your chair.
I ignored those. You repeated yourself, I
Oh,
ignored that. Now
okay.
tell me to move my chair respectfully. Just tell me to do it. You can be upset, just tell me to do it.
David, move your chair. David,
Now, add emotion.
David, move your chair. David, move your chair. David, can you move your chair, please?
Okay.
You're not adding emotion.
I
I don't know
I don't
how
know
to
how
do
Wait,
to.
I saw exasperated, I saw emotion.
Wait, we talked about this in one of the first classes. We can't assume that the other person knows how we're feeling. So you have to
It was
communicate.
exasperated.
You have to communicate your feelings. Add emotion.
David, move your chair.
No, she's laughing. She likes it when I sit close to her. Tell me how you're
I'm trying to
feeling.
act like I'm crying.
Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm feeling really uncomfortable.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
It's like
That's
in my
the
space
response.
and it's like too much.
By the way, we're gonna go through each one of these one at a time here in a couple minutes, but,
When you're in line though, sorry.
no, that's okay.
When you're in line, waiting for something, waiting in
Yeah,
line,
Yeah.
this person was too close.
You're, like,
was
hovering.
invading your person, yeah,
Yeah.
from the back, from
Yeah.
behind.
That's what I thought you were thinking of. Yeah.
Can you, sir, can you please back up?
Oh, right.
But
They might not be
they
able
might,
to.
they might not respond right away.
Yeah.
They heard, they would hear you, but they won't respond.
Usually people,
That's-
when they say they're rude though, because I've been in that situation, yeah.
What?
They're like, the line's back there, or something like that. It's really- You know what I
You're
mean?
doing so
here.
close.
It
Back
begins
up.
there.
But you're right, if you respectfully ask somebody to do something,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't hear you the first time. That's the whole point of
Yeah.
repeat yourself. I'm sorry, would you please back up a little bit? I don't like people standing that close.
Yeah,
They still
from
do
the
it.
back, especially.
You're standing really too close to me, please move.
In line.
That's it, telling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
Then
sorry.
add emotion. I'm getting really uncomfortable. You're standing way too close to me.
Is that
Move.
emotion by saying that?
Yeah, you're telling them how you feel.
Oh.
Or like in Wendy's or Subway.
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But I'm thinking of places like at the pharmacy,
Pharmacy,
is what you're
yeah.
thinking of, or the bank, because there's always lines, and sometimes they have a little marker on the ground or
Or
something.
wait for your name to be called.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
one more time.
You're not next to me.
Well, I'm asking if we can do it one more time.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Respectfully, ask me to move.
David, can you please move your chair?
Now, I didn't hear. We're going to just pretend for the sake of the role play, I didn't hear. And you have to assume that too.
Okay.
Because you want to be respectful and
Okay.
give somebody
Oh,
the
David,
benefit of
did
the
you
doubt.
hear me? Can you please move your chair?
Now I heard her, but
You're not going
I don't want to move.
Okay.
I'm lazy.
Um,
So now you have to command. Tell me to move.
if you don't move, I think I will.
Well,
Oh, no, I'm not
okay.
supposed to do that.
No, that's okay.
See, I guess that's the way I've operated throughout my life. It's not very assertive, is it? It's passive.
Well, that's okay.
I
We're gonna-
always move myself.
We're going to pick a better scenario here in a
I
second
know.
after we start
But
reading through
that's,
these.
see, I know I'm not being a very good leader, but that's how I've operated, is in a passive mode.
That's why we're in class.
I know, because I figure the pick your battles thing is if I gotta confront people, I avoid.
You know what?
I just-
Do you understand that?
Oh, I do it.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
total avoider. Yeah, and that's not a good way to teach.
We
but
may get into
That's sort of what I do.
we may get into assertive confrontation today. Right now, we're teaching you the steps to assertive communication that you're going to use in a confrontation when the other person is hostile or
Yeah.
everything you've done hasn't worked. You've introduced
See,
consequences.
he's the
you told them how
master. Listen to
you
him,
feel.
he's the master, I'm not.
When we start talking about assertive confrontation, the first page of assertive confrontation says define the problem. What do you want to get out of the situation? Basically, it's a pick your battles thing. You have to ask yourself, do I want to fight this battle?
Right.
What do I want from this person? Maybe, and the book is going to say, sometimes you can confront somebody just to tell them how you feel.
Yeah.
You know what, this person has been making me mad for a long time, I'm just gonna tell them, I don't like, you know, whatever. It makes me mad when you do this. Sometimes you just wanna tell somebody how you
Let
feel.
me ask you this, David, and just
So-
for everybody's sake, because I've been an avoider, but I think what's happening here is by using the assertiveness way or method, I think you gain respect.
You gain respect,
That's what
And-
I'm feeling.
you are also,
Because I would always think, oh, then I gotta come in every week and face that person that I confronted, and that's gonna be uncomfortable for me.
well,
I don't know if anybody else feels that
Huh.
way,
let
but go ahead.
me finish,
You
because
finish.
you are going to gain respect,
Right.
you're correct,
Right.
100%.
Right.
You are also, and how do I politically correctly put this? You are also using the power of psychology
Right.
to give yourself the best opportunity to have a positive outcome with the other person. That's a politically correct and very nice way of saying you can control you can influence how the other person is going to respond.
Intriguing.
I know from taking this class and from facilitating this class, by the way, I only facilitated this class because I want to be more assertive and less aggressive
Yeah.
sometimes, and less passive
I think that's
sometimes.
why we teach
Yeah.
these classes, that's why I
So,
teach them.
I've learned in this class, and it's great, that if I say, who can I pick on? Somebody volunteered to let me pick on you. You messed up the coffee this morning. That, in her mind, sounds a lot worse than, I really didn't like the coffee you made this morning, would you please make it stronger in the future? Doesn't that sound a lot less hostile to you? If I say you, I versus you, it's one of my favorites because if you use I versus you, the other person is going to be less defensive. In a very abstract way, you can look at this as how to manipulate people. But I don't like saying
Yeah,
that because it's not real manipulation.
I like the
because
influence.
because you're basically confronting a person in the way that you would want to be confronted.
Right.
I don't want somebody coming at me saying, well, you messed up this.
Yeah.
You always do this wrong. You basically breaking all the rules when they're telling me something that they have a problem with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You're sitting too close to me. You're weird.
Yeah.
You know, those are all you statements. Those
Yeah.
are all,
Yeah.
you always sit too close to people. Those are phrases that I would feel attacked
Yeah.
by.
Attack.
So I wouldn't want somebody to come
Or
at me
just
like
I
that.
need a little more
I would-
space or
yeah,
something like
I would
that.
appreciate it if somebody came at me and just told me how they felt. I don't like it when you do that, David. Would you please stop?
Yeah.
That's a very nice way for somebody to come at. I would want somebody to give me the respect of talking to me that way instead of using the you statement. Does
That
make sense?
prevents hostility.
So,
Yeah.
so that's why I don't like the word manipulation, because it's not really manipulation. You're just treating the person the way you would want to be treated, which is going to give you a better chance of a positive outcome.
Yeah,
Does that make
and
sense?
maybe a friendship, and maybe even improved confidence on
Yeah.
your part.
Are we
too.
gonna say that?
Right.
Go ahead.
Hope to be.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing when people come together, you know, for calls, events, you know, you don't come there for that anyway, you know.
I'm sorry, you don't
You
come.
don't come to the event or calls, you don't come there for that anyway, you know.
Right,
Everybody just read yourself.
Okay.
exactly.
Let's read about step number 1, repeating the question or statement. One way to add power to your assertiveness is to repeat your first communication. Some have referred to this as the broken record. You ask the same question or make the same statement. Make sure you have good eye contact and that you speak with confident, assertive voice tones. You may want to emphasize certain words the second time to increase the chances of your getting your point across. So, let's see. What's a good scenario that you guys want to talk about? Ooh, the person in the car. That's why I appreciated you bringing that up, because that's a great example to use. Please back off. It's a nice way to tell somebody to back off, because
I
they're
think
getting too
that's
close
too
to you, right?
aggressive.
Is that what you were telling us?
Yes.
Sort of.
Please back off.
That's
They
kind
don't-
of aggressive.
No. Please back off. You're
It's
too,
somebody you don't know, it's a stranger, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
please back off, you're too close to me.
I wouldn't do it.
Doesn't work. You repeat yourself. Please back off. You're too close. That's emphasizing the words that are important. But all I did was just repeat myself. Now let's move on to the second one. Who would like to read about commanding on page 64?
I can.
Okay.
Step 2, command, don't ask. If the other person continues to ignore you or refuses to cooperate, switch from asking to commanding. To most people, a directive sounds more powerful than a request. Therefore, learn to use the request for the majority of people, the most notable exception being the directing, guiding type of person. The average person will hear your request as polite and appropriate. There is less risk of sounding pushy, and you can change to command if the request does not produce results.
So you tell this guy, back off, you're too close. Back off, no, I don't want to do this or go with you or whatever. They don't listen. They still are getting too close to you, right? Now you tell them, drop the word please, back off, now. It's a lot more, sounds more aggressive, doesn't it? It's not. You're telling somebody what to do. I can respect what they want out of the situation, but I'm telling them to do something. Because
They might think you're mean. You're
Doesn't-
not mean.
doesn't
You're just
matter.
aggressive.
You're right. Back off now. That's a command. Let's see, assertive statement. Please give me directions to Mr. Green's office. Before considering other ways to increase your power of assertiveness, practice escalating your assertiveness just like when your first effort is not successful. Situations. You're participating in a staff meeting, you want to make a point about the topic being discussed, assume a topic and write your assertive statement below. We're not going to use office scenarios, we're going to use family. Give me a scenario where at a family gathering or a gathering in your home where you want to stand up for yourself. Anybody?
Being called crazy.
Okay. How would you ask somebody to stop calling you crazy?
I overheard your conversation and I didn't appreciate being called crazy.
You told me how you felt. Do you want me to stop calling you crazy?
Please stop calling me crazy.
Perfect. Yeah, you're just crazy.
Oh.
So, now you have to repeat yourself. Please
I
stop.
heard you call me crazy again. Please stop calling me crazy.
There you go. Now, how would you tell me, command me to stop calling you crazy? It's a pretty easy answer, I think. But.
Don't call me crazy again.
Perfect. You are telling me what to do. That is commanding. And it is perfectly acceptable. Does it break any of our rules? Is it honest and direct? Is it
Yeah.
respectful? And that's where a lot of people get caught up. You can be respectful of somebody who you demand to stop doing something. Or if I have something of yours, that's fine, give it to me now.
Mm-hmm.
But you commanded me to stop calling you crazy. Did it break the I versus you rule? No.
No.
Did it break the stick to the facts? Did you exaggerate? Did I
No.
actually call you crazy? Was that a fact?
Yes.
Then you stuck to the facts. You did not say, you're treating me like crap. That's an exaggeration. That's not a
Mhm.
fact. You say what makes you feel like, so you called me crazy.
Right.
Stop. Don't do it again. So you didn't break that rule. Body language, you didn't point at me.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't stop calling me crazy. You didn't use a mean, angry tone of voice. You did exactly, that was perfect. Anyone else? Question, comment? You want to practice?
I'll practice.
Okay. Next, last, no one responds. So let's come up with a different scenario. Somebody's calling you crazy. Doctor, you pick the scenario. What's a scenario in your life that you want to be more assertive, or less aggressive, or less passive in?
Landlords.
All right. Give me a scenario with the landlord. What are they not doing that you want them to do, or what are they doing that you want them to stop?
No, wait.
You pick.
Neighbors.
Neighbors. I love neighbor scenarios. What's something you want them to do, stop doing, give you, et cetera, et cetera?
I heard you talking, I heard you talk to my mom about me making noises. I was not making noise. Please stop talking about me. No, that's not right.
What do you want from the person? Do you want to just tell them how you feel? Do you want them to do something? Do you want them to stop doing something? Do you want them to give you something that's yours? Do you want them to not take something? Do you want them to, what are other outcomes that you might want from a scenario? Most of the time, it's
You want to
simple.
reach a compromise?
Well,
Compromise?
about what? You want them to do
My
something,
money.
stop doing something, give you something that's yours. You just want to tell them how you
Money.
feel. That's perfectly acceptable. They owe you money.
Money, yeah.
Okay, so I owe you $20. You gave it to me last week. I'm defining the scenario now. And I told you I would give it to you last night, and guess what? I didn't give her $20 last night. So today, you have to, we're not starting with command. You're going to ask me to give you the $20 that I told you that I would give you last night.
Where's the $20? Where's the $20 you owe me?
I don't have it. Was she assertive?
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't very direct. She
No.
was just asking where it is.
She didn't ask me for money.
Oh.
She asked me where the money was. That was very indirect, which is passive.
sorry.
Wait, no, that's right, you're new.
Yeah.
That's why we're helping you.
Yeah.
So ask me to give you the money that I owe you, that I told you that I would give you last night. You can be polite.
Will you please give, may I have the money that you owe me from last night?
What do you guys
Please.
think? Assertive?
Mm-hmm.
Would you please give me the money that you told me you would give me last night? Yeah, that's very, all
Please give me the money that you told me you would give.
right.
Last
Now,
night.
I'm gonna not be assertive. I'm the person you're talking to,
Yeah.
and you're practicing these steps. So remember these steps, and you guys support her. I'm just gonna be the bad guy, and you guys tell her
You
how to
are.
follow these steps.
You are. We've been
Oh,
through this.
no.
Oh, I don't have it, sorry. What's the first step she should do? What's the first step we just learned about? Oh, you went great.
Good
Straight to
reaction.
anger.
Look at her face.
Anger. I was angry.
Yeah? Repeat yourself, politely, respectfully.
Look at her
Oh,
face.
she's using aggressive facial
Usually people
expressions.
do that.
I know.
I know.
That's the point of this class, though.
Yeah.
We're teaching you how to, you're gonna have a better chance of getting that money from me if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Look at her.
Hey, do you want your money or not?
You get more with
Yes,
honey
I
than
do.
Then-
whatever
then
that phrase is.
Trust us, trust
Than
us.
what?
Vinegar.
Vinegar, that, thank you. I
Trust
can never
us.
remember.
Repeat yourself. Oh, I don't have it,
I
sorry,
don't-
man.
You,
Nope, repeat the same, say it.
Say it again.
Facial expression. Eh, you're not getting anything now.
Yeah,
You come
really.
here, look.
That
Yeah.
face is not getting you
Good
in
luck
the
getting that 20 bucks back.
can you please give me the money?
I told you, I don't have it. Man.
Where is
Now
it?
you guys help.
Okay,
Oh.
then where is it? I mean, where's
Nope,
the?
nope,
I'm
nope. You
sorry.
repeated the question. What's the next step? Page
Okay.
64.
Okay.
You spent it all?
No,
No, that's not the
that's
next
a you
step.
statement. You guys help
I'm
her out.
sorry.
No, you
Command
statement.
You ain't getting nothing.
Maybe command that he give you the money tomorrow.
No,
No,
No?
it's commanding.
No.
The next step is commanding.
she wants it now.
I want it now.
How do you know I don't have it? And that your tone of voice was a little aggressive, so.
You're really cute, but it's
I
not
know, I
working.
like this. This is good.
Okay, I was too aggressive.
Okay, so you asked me twice. I said, no, I don't have it. You repeated the same polite question. Please
Right.
give me the money you were supposed to give me last night. I told you, I don't have it, man. I'm not being nice, but you still have. Now,
You still have to be
go to
nice.
step 2, command.
Command.
I want my money
Say, I'm
now.
sure you do. Tell
him
me to give you the money now.
Give me my money now.
Well, you just joined 2 steps. You added emotion and you commanded.
This is what my ex
I
was-
told you, I don't have it. Now, add emotion, like telling me how you feel.
Oh, she's in emotion.
Tell me. Look at page 65.
Look at
Now
her.
I'm getting angry. Give me my money now. Tell me how you feel. Using I statements
I
respectfully.
statement.
I'm mad. I gave you that money. And you promised to give it to me last
I'm
night.
mad at you.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you.
Now tell me, you told me how you felt. Now repeat the command. You're adding the emotion to a command. I'm mad at you. I gave you that money. You told me you were going to give it
I'm
last
mad at
night.
you. I gave you the money.
Give it to me now.
Give it to me now.
You know what? I know you're mad, but I ain't got it. Now, let's move on to the last step.
How do you get it is what I want to know, because I never gotten the money I've lent,
Like
ever.
some people
It-
might.
Introduce
Some people like
consequences.
that.
So,
people like that.
You owe me money, I didn't give you back. What's the consequence of that? Think about it. Think and talk amongst yourselves. You guys help her come up with consequences. There's a million different consequences
I'd
she
like
could
to
add.
know.
I'll start suggesting some if you want.
Yeah, I need to know. This is what my ex would say. I'll just tell you. You can't get blood from a turnip. This is what he
I've used that line before too, honestly.
Raise your hand if you've ever given somebody something and they didn't pay you back. Raise your hand if you've ever given somebody something and they, hold on. Raise your hand if you've ever given somebody something and they
Usually
didn't pay you back.
Usually it involves physical confrontation.
Well,
Raise your hand if you've ever given the same person something twice and both times they didn't pay you back.
it's never happening again, but yeah, I probably did.
That's the first consequence.
Yeah. It's not
Hey,
gonna happen again.
next time you need money, I'm not gonna give you any, I'm not gonna loan you any
Yeah.
if you don't pay me back.
Yeah.
That's the
bad at
first
borrowing
easiest
money.
consequence.
Lending, you mean?
Oh, that's a you
Lending.
statement. What is that, aggressive or passive?
I was aggressive.
Oh, oh, you were telling him?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
telling me I'm bad at borrowing money.
Yeah.
That's an aggressive statement.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shoot,
So-
sorry.
I'm mad. I gave you money, I loaned you money, you said you were gonna pay me back last night. I want my money, give it to me now.
Number one,
So-
get out of my house.
You added emotion. And the person says, I told you I ain't got it, you can't get blood from a turnip, right?
I am
Yeah.
mad.
Now you add consequences.
I am mad. I gave you my money from last night. I want my money now,
Or,
or
what are you gonna do?
I will call the police.
There we go, there we go.
Now, the police probably won't care that you loaned me 20 bucks.
I mean, or no.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to get you guys to think.
Maybe tell.
When you're in that confrontation, you might start spewing out consequences that have nothing to do with the issue. You have to think
I
of
can't
real
think of anything
consequences.
else.
I know.
Well, let's read about that.
They're counting
I
on
will
that.
never
Let's
loan
read-
you money again.
That's one, what's another one?
That's-
Call your mom.
I'll call your mom. Hey, I'm gonna tell other people in the
Moms
building.
usually
I'm mad.
Hold on,
stay on their side.
I'm mad.
here's some that I would
I
recommend.
don't know.
Hold on. Here's some consequences that I would recommend
Yeah,
that
please do.
apply to the situation.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not loaning you money next time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell
I'm not
everybody else in the
loaning
building not to loan you money.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call your mom, because she's not gonna like that you're not paying back your debts.
I know.
I'm not loaning you money.
That's where they
ever
learned it from.
again.
Sorry.
We're talking about
I
consequences
gave you money
that fit
and
the
you took
situation.
it
Yeah.
from me. I'm mad.
Yeah.
I am not giving you money again.
What else are you gonna do? And
I'm just,
that's it?
We're breaking
All right.
up, you're moving
Now let's
out,
read on
your
page
clothes are on the
67.
porch.
Hold on, guys.
Don't
Introducing
ever ask me
con-
for money again.
Yep.
Or anything else for that matter.
don't ask me for anything else.
Yeah, and actually, think real world.
Not making
In a
dinner.
real world scenario with a neighbor, with a friend, with a family member, with a doctor.
What about renting
You're-
the money?
Well, hold on. In a real world scenario, you're not, that situation isn't the only interaction you've ever had with that person and will ever have with that person. Because strangers are the easiest to deal with because you've never talked to them
Yeah.
before and
Yeah.
you don't ever have to talk to them again.
Yeah.
But if you've loaned somebody money, it's because you
It's-
know them
it's
or their
usually
family.
Family or friend.
If you're dealing with a doctor, demanding something from a doctor or
They'll just say, take your business
coworker.
elsewhere.
That's not the only interaction you are ever gonna have with that person. So your consequences could be, you know what? You're not gonna pay me back the money I loan you. Next time you want to borrow my car or you need a ride to the store, I'm gonna think twice about it.
Mhm.
Basically, you can come up with punishments.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with it. Let's read about consequences because it's
Okay.
really important.
Okay.
Final way to add power to your assertiveness is to introduce consequences. Consequences are not threats because they are not harmful or inappropriate. I'm gonna punch you in the face, that's kinda
No.
harmful.
No.
I'm gonna share naked pictures of you with the neighbors, that's inappropriate. So, but I'm gonna warn people not to loan you money. That's an appropriate, the punishment fits the crime as a way to think of consequences. Make sure the consequence fits the crime,
Yeah.
or is appropriate. They are simply statements of what you intend to do if you do not get the cooperation or results you desire. Following are some criteria for successful consequences. Consequences need to be stated in advance. The other person deserves an opportunity to change his or her behavior to prevent the consequence. Taking an action without prior notice could be interpreted as inappropriate and aggressive. So I've told you to give me that money that you were supposed to give me last night. You again said no. So now what the book is telling me is I can't just say, well, I'm never loaning you money again. What the book is saying is introduce the consequence to give the person a chance. If you don't give me that money now, I won't loan you money ever again. That makes sense? That gives them a chance to give you the money now, or say, okay, I really don't have it now, but I will get it for you by tonight. Does that make sense? It gives them a chance
Next
to
time
follow
you ask-
through so that you don't have to follow through with that consequence. That's what the book's saying. Don't just jump into the punishment and punish them. Tell them what the consequence will be to give them a chance to change their mind.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though,
Well,
that I probably would give them those chances, but I still wouldn't let them again. Because
Yeah.
sometimes they, this is just my experience, they'll pay you so they can do it again with a bigger amount and then not pay you.
Right, right.
I've been there.
Consequences need to be strong but believable. The action needs to be something undesirable, but if it's too extreme, the other person will not believe you that you will actually do it. If you don't give me the money you owe me, I'm going to file a lawsuit against you
No, it's not
and take
gonna work.
everything you own.
That's not
What are the odds I'm gonna do
They
that?
usually don't own anything.
Do you think I'm gonna do
That's why
that?
they ask for
You
money.
wouldn't win.
Do you think I'm gonna sue somebody over $100 that I loaned them?
No,
No.
no, that's
I
not.
mean, I could,
Yeah.
but if you don't, if it's an extreme threat that the other person is not likely to believe that you'll actually do, if you know that you won't actually do it, then you shouldn't introduce it as a consequence.
Say, it happens in some relationships and marriage.
You know, I tell my kids all the time, if you don't listen right now, you are never watching TV again. What are the odds that I'm never gonna let my kids watch TV?
The next time
Slim to none.
the next time you ask me for something, I have to think twice.
That's a good consequence.
Yeah.
If you had said, well, I'm never loaning you anything ever again, and I'm never doing you any favors ever again,
Yeah.
that's kind of extreme, and
Yeah.
they might not believe you.
I mean, you're not believable.
But I liked the way you phrased that. Next time you ask me for something, I'm probably gonna think twice about it.
I will have to think
That's
twice.
believable, yeah.
I will
But
have
with,
to think
as far as telling like other people not to loan them money, usually
That's kind
people
of a
that do
threat.
that, they surround themselves with a lot of nice people, and those people, if you told them, they wouldn't believe you.
Yeah, I think that was a bad example because
You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
I think that was more of an aggressive threat.
I would probably think twice.
All right,
You're not
lastly, you must be,
believable till you lose your credibility then in the conversation going forward.
excellent segue. Read the last bullet point on page 67 for me.
Twice.
Oh, yeah. That's, yeah.
You must be
You must be
prepared.
prepared to follow through and implement the consequence if necessary. If the other person decides to test you and you do not take action you said you would, you lose credibility and power for dealing with this person in the future. He or she may also tell others and you will lose credibility with them
That's,
too.
it's true.
Now-
It's
Yeah.
Now we're
It's
gonna
true.
practice these 4 steps. So, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Anitra,
Nitra. You loaned me 20 bucks last week, and when you gave it to me, I said, I'll give it to you, today's Thursday, Wednesday night. Well, today's Thursday, I didn't give you the 20 bucks, so you asked me. You got that $20
you got
that
the
I,
$20
you told me you were gonna give it
that
to me
you
last
told me
night.
that you would give?
No, sorry, man. Ask me again, please give me the money, please give me my 20 bucks.
Can you please give me my 20
I
bucks?
told you, I don't have it, now you're gonna tell me to give it to you.
Give it to me now. Give it to me.
Sorry, you can't get blood from a turnip, dude. Now you're gonna tell me that you're mad.
I
I'm
knew he was
mad.
gonna
I
say,
gave you 20
dude, I
bucks.
knew it.
I'm mad. I gave you 20 bucks.
And I said I'd pay you back last night, and you said you'd pay me back.
You said you were gonna pay me back.
Now,
No.
tell me to give it to you again.
You- Give it to me.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Now introduce consequences.
The next time you
Ask.
ask me, I will probably think twice about that.
Yeah, I know.
Get
So,
rid- get rid of the
I don't know-
problem.
I
I
have
don't
to
know what
think
to
twice
say.
about that.
Now, a couple weeks later, I come to her and I ask her for money, She gives me 20
It's
bucks.
like,
That's what the last thing we just read was
Next
talking
time you
about.
ask me, I will think twice about it.
But you might give it to me. What happens if you loan me 20 bucks and I don't pay you back, then a couple weeks later, you feel bad for me, you're kind of over, you're not mad anymore about the last 20, and you give me 10 bucks
See,
or
he's-
5 bucks
he's betting
for
on that.
sandwiches. Think about it.
he's betting on it.
That's-
If you give me money next time, I know that your threats were, you were not going to
I
follow
don't know
through.
what the emotion the other person is, no.
That tells me,
Yeah.
whenever I need anything, all I got to do is go give her some
He
puppy
or
dog
she might
eyes.
feel bad, he or she might feel bad that they did not give you the money that they owe you.
Mhm.
They would probably feel, awful, or not feeling
I don't think
awful.
they're gonna feel awful.
So what do you guys think?
I feel good, no.
What do you guys think? Does this make sense? Repeat yourself.
You might lose their trust.
I think this is a
They might lose
great-
your trust.
That was great example.
I think this
Yeah, yeah.
chapter
Yeah, thank you
is
for bringing
great,
up that
I think it's a
example.
great example, and I think the thing is, at least from my standpoint, is because I at least grew up thinking, everybody's good, and I gave everybody the benefit of the doubt, I always forgave everybody, I always gave people second, third, and fourth chances. This is just me, but I think when you have mental illness, or you've been abused, either or both, I think we're vulnerable.
Right.
And that's just me, and maybe it's you too. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this, and I know we only have a few minutes, and I hope David doesn't mind, but I think sometimes, to be assertive and to have strength and confidence, whether it's money or anything else, to prevent from being abused or taken advantage of, I think sometimes you have to realize that it's okay to say no.
Right.
And I have said yes too many times, and I have been abused and taken advantage of and had money taken too many times. And it doesn't mean I don't love, I don't care, I don't give, but I am not going to let myself open to be abused, taken advantage of, and had money taken.
Most people
And
will
it
take
doesn't
advantage
mean I
of
don't care,
Hold on. Right.
you know?
Who
Does
in
that
here?
make sense?
Hold on. Who was
Yes,
here the
yes.
week we role played where she took my phone and wouldn't give it back?
Some
Who's here
people
for
take
that?
advantage of you.
Now what? Last
That's what
time
my mom
I
said.
loaned her my phone, she wouldn't give it back to me. If you follow the rules, if you want to practice this, and you are actually assertive, and you say no to somebody, you will feel guilty. But you'll get over it, and you'll start to feel more empowered. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but it is hard the first couple times you say no. Ask me if you can borrow my phone.
Can I borrow your phone, David? I don't have mine.
No. Last time I gave it to you, you wouldn't give it back for a while.
I know, but I don't have mine.
I'm sorry, no. And if she keeps asking me, I'm mad emotion.
All right.
Last time I gave you my phone, you wouldn't give it back, and I got really upset. And I'm not giving you my phone.
Well, that makes sense, I understand.
And then she says something else. I'll introduce consequences. What's an appropriate consequence to her continuing to ask me to borrow my phone? I've already told her no. Told her how I felt. Introduce consequence. What's a consequence? She's a coworker. You keep asking me.
You're gonna tell the boss.
You keep asking. I'm telling the boss.
Yeah.
She's family.
Sure,
You keep asking me. I'm gonna not invite you over for Thanksgiving next time.
right.
You know, I don't want you around. I'm gonna ask you to leave if you're in your house. If you're in their house. You keep bugging me, I'm leaving. But you have to be prepared to follow through with the consequences.
People think you're mean. You're not mean. You're just,
You're standing up for yourself.
And that's what I used to think, that I was being mean.
you're guarded.
Another way to think
That's a
of being
good
assertive.
answer.
Another way to think of being assertive is to imagine somebody you care about is being picked on and they need to stand up for themselves. How would you act in their defense? What would you do or say for them? Well, you should do the same thing for you. So you're basically
I
standing
like
up for
that.
yourself.
I like
The
that.
same way you
Have
can stand up
somebody's
for some
back.
innocent person who you're trying to help. Does that make sense?
Stand up for
So-
someone.
So somebody borrowed money from you and they won't give it back, I'm gonna confront them for you. Why wouldn't I do that for myself? Does that make
I have
sense?
to do it
I
for
love
myself.
that, I love that.
I have to
because-
come up with a punishment.
Next week, we're gonna
Yeah.
talk about confrontation.
Thank you, David.
Where
That's,
they're
I think
angry.
that is so
Thanks.
awesome to have somebody's back.
Thanks,
Yes.
Dave.
You know, doesn't that make